Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fifth installment of the Liaison Library, the Anatomy of a One-Call Notification. I'm happy to join you today. My name is Marcos Bernal. I'm the supervisor for the Liaison team. We also have Jim Reynolds, Greg Danks, Maria White, Mark Lipka, Ryan Parrish, Kevin Goldblum, Erica Dominic, Brandon Dumick, on the line today. Kirk Kirkpatrick is at another event, but is also with the Liaison group as well. If you have questions during the session, the Q&A link is the way to go. You want to ask any questions in the Q&A, and we'll be able to help with that and answer any questions you have along the way. First, we are going to jump into the communications network, a little icebreaker with the communications network. And then we're going to jump into the placing a dig notification. Why do we ask the questions that we ask? Then we're going to talk about how to read them, the notification types we have to offer, responding to dig notifications, and you know what? It's my lawful start date. What do I do now? Now what? Without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the communications network for us. And let me get that up on our screen here. Should see it now. Okay. With the communications network, the start is with the project owner. The project owner means any person who or which engages in an excavator for construction or any other project which requires excavation or demolition work. You're a project owner. If you hire somebody to do a job, you're a project owner. Okay, you are the person who engages that excavator to do the work. Excavator is not the machine, it's the person. A person who or which performs excavation or demolition for himself or another person is the excavator. So we have that definitions in the excavator. That being said, we're going to start here with the communications network. We will start with the excavator gathering their information, collecting everything that they need for the job site, and then notifying the one call center of their intent to dig. So you collect everything, all the data, and things like that you about the work site, and you go ahead and call the one call center. We collect all that data for you. We're going to talk about all the different questions that we ask and why they're so important when you place the one call, either calling it in or using the web or web ticket entry or coordinate PA. Next comes the one call then notifies the facility owner. Remember, the one call gathered that information from you. We notify the facility owner member that there's someone's intent to dig around their facilities. They're notified by county, municipality, street, intersecting streets, and house numbers, things like that. Do you need a house number? No, you do not. We need a street at least. Some of you aren't working at a house number. I like to use the example 100 Main Street. If I'm working at 100 Main Street, that's what I'll use as the address where I'm working. But if I'm working 500 feet east of 100 Main Street, I'm not going to use 100 Main Street as the work site. I might use it in the location information to explain exactly where I'm working. You want the locator to go to the correct spot. We're going to collect that data and send that to the facility owner. The facility owner then dispatches that request to their locators in that area. They're going to take that information, dispatch that information to the locators. Once the locators finish the job, go out, either say they're cleared the site or they mark the site, they're required to respond back their notification, back to that notification, whether they've cleared or field marked. Once that happens, the one call center then forwards that data to the excavator the morning of the start date. With the responses to the excavator. So whether the company says I'm clear, no facilities, or field marked, that person will get that information. That excavator will get that information on the morning of the start date, which means they can go to the field, go to the work site, do their walkthrough with accurate information stating, hey, this company's clear and this company's field mark. I better see markings in the area where I'm working if they have facilities there. So that's the little icebreaker for the communications network. Again, I'm Marcos. I'm going to host today. We're going to jump into actually placing that one call, filling out that form. I have an actual work location request form here that we call that we're going to use to fill out. And I'm going to ask Brandon Dumick to play the role as the excavator here, and then I'm going to ask Erica Dominic to play the role as the CSR or the customer service rep, taking the information from Brandon. We're going to do that, and I'm going to along the way I'm going to ask Kevin some questions as to why these areas are so important to focus on, and why we ask these questions along the way. So just real quick, are you guys ready to roll?
All set.
All set is good news. Okay. Got it all set there. Erica, you're good. I can see you unmuted, and I think Kevin is on with us as well, so we should be good to go. Okay, let's get started here. Erica, take it away.
Sir, can I have your phone number, please?
Yes, it is 481-516-2342.
And can I have your name, please?
Brandon Dumick.
And your company's name and address.
Our company is called We Dig For You. That's numeral 4 and just the letter U. And we are located at 123 Rock Run Road, Elizabeth 15037.
Okay.
And what kind of notification type will you be placing today?
This is excavation.
Okay, so I am going to stop you guys there after the excavation. Thank you so much. Kevin, are you with us?
I am, Marcus. How are you?
Kevin, how are you?
Good.
Good. So why is it so important that we ask for the telephone number? Right off the bat, first thing we ask for is the telephone number. Why is that so important?
Oh, that's important, Marcos, because it accesses your account information. It also gives us a chance to review your contact info to make sure everything's up to date with us.
Fantastic. So what if I have multiple people that use the same, like call into the same company? Should they use the same phone number, or should we use a different phone number?
That's absolutely fine to use the same number. We'll just ask who we're speaking to so we know, but many people are going to share the same phone number at the same company, so you do not need your own individual number to access.
Right. Okay, good. So yeah, that same number is used as an account number for that company specific then.
Exactly.
Good. And let's jump to the notification type briefly, because I know Jim's going to talk about that a little later. But do you want to touch on that a little bit? What are some differences maybe? What we asked for?
Well, the reason we do ask for notification type is because it keys to the locators or the facility owners to know what they have to do. It's much different if they get a final design or a preliminary design or an excavation notification. A design means they don't have to go out there and mark the field, whereas an excavation notification tells them they do need to get out there by the 3rd business day to mark the area out. So it's pretty much an indicator of what direction this process is going to go with them. And like you said, Jim Reynolds is going to go into much deeper dive with each notification type.
Perfect. We'll jump into that right after this. So, by the way, I see some more people jumping on. Thank you again for joining us. Q&A, if you have any questions, we're going to monitor that throughout the session here. Please ask your questions here, and we'll be happy to answer those. We're going to have like a nice little Q&A session at the end too if we get an abundance of questions here throughout the morning. So let's go ahead and move on, Erica, and fill out some of the rest of this.
Sir, what county will you be working in?
Allegheny County.
And the municipality?
It is Elizabeth Township.
And do you have ward information for that?
No wards, no.
No wards, okay. What is your street address and street name?
No house address, but we are working on Arrowhead Drive.
And what would be the nearest intersection?
That will be Lookout Drive.
Are you working between 2 intersections?
Yes, we are.
All right, then. What is the second intersection or the nearest main road?
The second will be Orchard View Drive, and that's view spelled V-U-E.
Okay, good information to share. Are you working in a subdivision?
No.
And do you happen to have latitude and longitude coordinates?
I do not.
Okay. And will you be working in the street, sidewalk, public, or private property?
We are in the street. It's all going to be public.
Great, thank you. Is your site marked in white?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Do you have any other location information that will help the locator find the work site?
Yeah, you can put down, we're beginning our work at the west end of Arrowhead Drive, which is just off of Scenery Drive.
Thank you, Eric. I'm going to stop you there. We are. I'm going to ask Kevin again to kind of define some things here. Do you have any top points for this section alone? I know we went through a lot there, a nice chunk of information, Kevin. Anything you'd like to point out for this section here?
Absolutely, Marcos. First off, it's important to have the county and municipality. The reason is that every facility owner out there who's a member with One Call is registered in a specific county and municipality, or several municipalities, depending on what type of facility they are, how far they run. By letting us know what county and municipality in, that directs us to contact exactly the correct facility owners who are registered there. So that's important that not everybody gets the notifications, but in this case, just those who have lines in Elizabeth Township. And now an address is going to get the locator to the X marks the spot of where the dig is going to take place. So yes, we need a street name. If you have a street address, that really helps. We want a nearest section and a second intersection. And then let us know exactly where it's going to be, because we do want to know, are we marking out in the street? Are we marking out in the rear of the property? The more information that can be given here, the easier it is for the locator to get to the site, spend the majority of their time marking correctly, and then get to the next dig locate that they have to. So that's why it's important to be specific here, and in the location information, as much details as you can. And if I'm working in the rear of the property, 350 feet back, and there's one giant oak tree out there, give me all that information. Again, it's easier and makes the locator's job easier to get out there and mark correctly. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you so much, Kevin. All right, Erica, please.
What type of work will you be doing?
We are installing a sewer line.
And what is the depth of your proposed excavation?
10 feet.
And the extent of that excavation?
About 500 feet.
And what is your method of excavation?
We are trenching with a backhoe.
Thank you. Who is the project owner for this project?
It's for Elizabeth Township.
All right, Erica, I'm going to stop you again there. Sorry about that. You said Elizabeth Township there. Kevin, why does it matter what you're doing as long as we give you the address? I already gave you the address. What's it matter what I'm doing here?
Well, to make the job as safe as possible, I want to know what you're doing out there. I want to know, are you putting a mailbox in, or are you digging with a backhoe down 10 feet? If I own a sewer line out there, do I have to worry about it as much if you're pounding the mailbox in? Probably not. Obviously, I'm still marking it out, but I'm not as concerned that you're going to get anywhere near touching my line. Whereas I find out you're digging 10 feet, the concern is there, and there's probably some conversations that we need to have to make sure everything's safe and ready to go for the project.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kevin. All right, Erica.
Sir, do you have and who will be the on-site contact for the project?
That will be me.
Can I have your phone number, please?
Same one. It's the 481-516-2342.
And what's the best time to call you?
Between 9 and 3.
Do you have an email address?
I do. brandond@gmail.com.
And do you have a fax number?
No fax.
What is your scheduled excavation date and time?
September 27th and we're looking to start right about 7 o'clock.
And what is your duration of the job?
2 weeks.
Do you have a job number?
No.
Do you have a PennDOT contractor permit number?
I do not.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you there again, Kevin. I'm going to jump in here, and we're going to do the last couple sections here. Who should we put for the contact information? Erica mentioned on-site contact. Who should we put there?
The on-site contact is typically the correct person. You want the person who's on site, who's digging, who's dealing with the project, the one who knows the most information. Someone from the office might not know much about the job, but they put the notification in. That doesn't mean that if you have questions, they're the person you want to talk to. The best thing you can do is talk to someone who will be on site, who knows the project inside and out. And that's why we want the one who's the on-site contact. And we want to know when's the best time to call them for any questions that we might have.
Thank you, Kevin. And Erica, the last section here, I think, is remarks, right?
Yes. Do you have any other particular remarks about the dig?
Just one thing, we noticed there was an electric meter right at the start of our project.
Okay, and what should we put in this field, Kevin? Like he said, electric meter. What else?
Well, really anything that helps the locator understand what you're doing that isn't location information. Things such as access codes if you need to get into a facility, or any other phone numbers. Maybe someone else is working the job. You want to give them their cell phone number too, just in case you're tied up. Special attention to certain companies. Hey, electric company, we're going to be digging right near your lines. We need your attention to come out and talk to us. So yeah, it's just any other information that you can think of that you can relay that's going to make this job safe for everybody involved.
Fantastic. All right. The rest, we're going to go through a little later with Maria. She's going to explain what the facility owners receive and how the ticket seat is viewed by them. But between that, we're actually going to jump to Jim Reynolds. He's going to dive, like we mentioned, deeper into that notification type explanation, explain those a little deeper, and go from there. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to help. Jim, whenever you're ready, go ahead and share your screen. I'm going to stop here, and you should be able to take it over. There you go. It's already up.
Thank you, Marcos. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the different types of tickets. First off, we have the design tickets. Doing a final design is a requirement under the Act, PA Act 287 as amended. Planning is the key to a successful project. When you begin planning, it's important that you know if there is anything that might have been previously installed underground near your project. There's two different types of design tickets. Preliminary design is when you are really starting 90 days or longer before you start your project. You want to try and get all that information on that area so that when you do put your final design in, you can match the information, and then you can make sure that you are clear, or you don't have to change what you're doing while you're completing your work, because if you have to do any changes, that could add an additional cost to your project. Also, if you are a designer, make sure you are looking at the responses that you are getting back from the facility owners. If you get the code 082 design conflict, under the statute, you are required to send plans to the facility owner to mark them up, and then they send them back to you so that you know where their facilities are. Also, the facility owners are not required to mark their facilities on any of the design tickets, like Kevin said earlier. And also, you cannot dig on a design ticket. Let's talk a little bit about the demolition tickets. When you're completing a demolition of anything, whether you are using mechanized equipment or not, a demolition ticket is required. You need to do the 3 to 10 business days. And then keep in mind, you might need some additional time to make sure if there are any service lines connected to the demolition project, that they have been disconnected for your safety and the safety of others. Now, our routine ticket, when you're planning your excavation, there's certain things you want to remember. Mark the area in white. This is going to help the locator find the exact location where you are working. They have a lot of other tickets that they have to do during the day. So giving them that exact location information and marking it in white really helps. In 2019, we had over 1 million tickets that were called in. We are on pace to hit that 1 million ticket notifications in 2021. You have to place the routine ticket 3 to 10 business days in advance of your excavation, and it's limited to 1,000 feet or intersection to intersection, whichever comes first. Prior to starting, you want to make sure you're surveying your work area, matching up the responses to see or match what you are seeing on the ground. If they do not match, call back to 811. They will put out a re-notification for you to notify the facility owner of your concerns. If your project is larger than the 1,000 feet or intersection to intersection, that can properly be described in a single locate request, you must submit your ticket through Coordinate PA. This is a complex project now. What makes a complex project? It's the duration of the project. How long will it take you to complete? Will it require additional locates over an extended time frame? The impact of the job. Will it involve maybe closing a road, shutting off pedestrian traffic, or the possibility of service disruptions? So the impact of a project can vary from project to project. Also, the size of the project. How long is it? How long are you going to be there? And is it complex? There's many different variations of what makes a project complex. So just keep that in mind. We use the acronym DISC: duration, impact, size, and complexity. In the end, it's up to the project owner, the designer, or the excavator to determine if a project is going to be complex. Let's discuss the emergency tickets now. What is an emergency? An emergency is a sudden or unforeseen occurrence involving a clear and immediate danger to life, property, and the environment, including but not limited to serious breaks or defects in the facility owner lines. What is not an emergency? Installing a pool, putting up a fence, planting shrubs, or adding a basketball hoop in your driveway. This is poor planning. So do not use emergency tickets on jobs that you could actually plan ahead of time. There's several different types of emergencies. If you damage something, you call it in and you notify all the facility owners of that a damage has occurred. Make sure if there is any hazardous material coming from the damage, be sure that you are calling 911 first, evacuate the area, and call 811. And in the end, be sure that you follow up with an alleged violation report. Odor of gas is another emergency ticket type. If you're on a work site and you smell gas, or even if you're just out and about during a normal day and you smell gas, call 911 and then either get a hold of the gas company or call us, 811. We can send a notification out to all the facility owners in the area so that they can respond to this area quickly. Also, a no one call. If you see someone out digging and you do not see marks on the ground, please call 811. CSR will look up the area to see if there is a valid ticket. If not, they will send one out as an emergency so that all facility owners can get out there and mark their lines. Also, the emergency services can actually shut your job down if you do not have a valid one call. Last but not least, the potential cross-bore. If someone has a backed up sewer line, take the time to call 811 before sending a cutting tool down the line. With horizontal directional drilling being used more frequently, there could be the possibility that a communication line, electric or gas line went through a sewer line and is causing the blockage. So call 811. It gives the facility owners a chance to check their records to see if they had any facilities installed in the area using horizontal directional drilling.
All right,
And
Jim.
that's it, Marcos.
Thank you so much, Jim, for that deep dive into the ticket types. We are going to jump right to Maria White next. She is going to dissect what the facility owner sees. She's already pulling up the screen there. Maria, want to get adjust your, yeah, there you go. While she's adjusting and setting up, remember, if you have any questions at all, live event, Q&A is where you're going to go. Attendees, thank you for joining us again this morning. I know some of us had some technical difficulties jumping in, but please enter your questions there. Maria's going to take a deep dive into what the facility owner sees. What we did was we actually, if you missed it this morning, we actually went through and entered all this information into a ticket as the excavator, and then we're going to go ahead and put the or see how the facility owner sees that on their end. So Maria, if you are ready to roll, go for it. You're up.
I'm ready to roll. So again, I'm Maria White. I'm the Northeast Liaison for Pennsylvania One Call. Very glad that all of you could join us today. So I am playing the facility owner, and this is what I am going to see when I receive the notifications from PA One Call. So these are all of the questions that Brandon answered for Erica, and she typed up into that nice form. So let's just start at the top, and I want to give you a little hint here. at the end of our presentations today, we're going to have some quiz questions. So just to give you a little hint, a couple of the things I'm going to be telling you could possibly be quiz questions. Okay, so at the top of the one call notification, we have the serial number. The serial number is comprised of the year, so 2021. Then the next set of numbers, 265, that is the Julian date, which is the 265th day of the year. And then the last 4 digits are just a sequential numbers that PA one call uses. So the first call of the day would be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then we move on to the version number. The version number is very important. So if you see 000, that's the first version of the ticket. It could change to a 001 or 2 or 3, depending on if there is a re-notify, a cancel, or an announcement. So it could change with a re-notify, a cancel, or an announcement. Then as we move over to the channel, the important thing about the channel is if you needed to know if the person put the ticket in either by calling customer service, which in this case they did. If you remember, Erica was our customer service representative. But if you see the word web up here in the channel number, that means that the excavator put their notification in through web ticket entry. We highly recommend you using web ticket entry and having access to that. With web ticket entry, you're able to do those complex project tickets that Jim was just talking about. Then we have already gone over the different message types, and we'll be talking more about that in depth. The county and municipality. So basically everything here in these next few sections is what the information Brandon was giving Erica. Now, just of interest, the location information, this can be up to 700 characters. So we really, again, want you to use that for directions or any additional information. The map type, you probably never wondered or maybe even cared what the map type is, but if it says P, that means polygon. So this is a polygon map. If it says C, that means that it was put in through complex projects. And there's more than 6 points in the complex projects. You can do as many points as you need to for your geometry. And then the attachments. We would have your mapping attached that you could click on this link, this HTTP link, and see the map and the rest of the information that was given. And very important here, the response due date. The response due date for the facility owner is so important. You must have your lines marked and have a final response by 11:59:59 the night before the excavator starts. So in this case that we had today, September 24th, 21 at 11:59:59, you must have your final response in. The PUC has been giving out violations for facility owners that have not been doing the final responses. So if you need any more information about that, or if you need training on how to respond, please contact one of the liaisons. Again, Brandon's project was going to be starting on the 27th. Here's something important to note. Your response is due on Friday the 24th, but Brandon's not digging until Monday. That's because of the way that we only count business days in our 3 to 10 business days. So this date here, the scheduled excavation would not be for the Saturday, it would be for the following Monday, the 27th. Now let me just move down the ticket just a little bit here. Again, the remarks that we have spoken about, you can go up to 7,500 characters for remarks. So don't be shy. Put all of the information that you need to, additional contact information, specific markout instructions. As Kevin was saying, he gave us a lot of good examples of what you could use that for. And then down at the bottom, all of our facility owners have what's called a CDC code. It's their call directing code. So at the bottom of the ticket, there's going to be a list of the facility owners and their 3 digits, usually a 3-digit call directing code, and the name of their facilities, their name. And I think that is all that I needed to say. Marcos, is there anything else you wanted me to bring up about the tickets?
No, not really. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Maria. You touched on the start dates. Remember, you're responding by the response due date, guys. If you're responding to notifications, please do so with the final response by the response due date, like she said. And just use all the information that we have available. We asked this for you to use. The excavator's supposed to give you exact site information. We're also asking excavators to mark everything in white to show where where you're working and stuff. So, and obviously in this case, Brandon did, so it should be nice and easy to find the work site. So that being said, thank you, Maria. That was excellent. I don't know if everybody always dissects a ticket like that. So it's good to see who's on the ticket and what everybody sees on the other side when you're actually placing the information. Next person I have on the docket here is Ryan Parrish. Ryan's going to talk about some of those response codes that we asking you to respond with. So Ryan, go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready. I see you already got your screen up, so we're good to go. Well, he is knocking that out too while he's setting up. So remember, questions, Q&A, please ask. We'd love to answer them.
All right. Can you hear me, Marcos?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Again, my name is Ryan Parrish. I'm one of the damage prevention liaisons on the eastern side of PA. So if you ever placed a one-call notification or received a one-call notification, you should be familiar or have an understanding of the KARL response codes. And that's the Kathy Automated Response to Location Request. So this is just a KARL definition. This information provided to the excavator prior to the excavation helps the excavator know more about the utilities and the job site prior to dispatching resources to excavate. With this additional information, the excavator will be able to plan excavation to reduce damage around underground utilities. It's always have a good understanding if there's going to be any underground utilities in the area. This is a great way to start. So we went over the tickets. All tickets will have a response due date for location requests. There is always going to be a clear understanding of when you're obligated to respond and place those location requests and go out and field mark. So facility owners, they actually must respond to all notifications through the one call system by the appropriate response due date as listed on the ticket. Actually, in Pennsylvania, we are a positive response state. Facility owners must respond to all notifications through the one call system by the response due date. And this is a requirement of PA Act 287. So let's take a look at our final responses. We have 001, clear no facilities or facilities not involved based on ticket information. The facility owner has not have any underground lines at the site described in the location request. You have 003 field marked. A locator was dispatched and physically went out and marked the lines at the work site. Then on the design side, we have 083 engineering completed. A PDF file or marked up plans were sent to the requester. Again, the facility owner has answered the designer's request for the plan by drawing or uploading their lines or facilities on those plans in Coordinate PA, and we have tools to help you like Drawing Exchange. Although your facility owner, they may email or hard copy these marked up plans, but again, we have applications on our website like Drawing Exchange to make things easier for you. On the pre-construction meeting side, we have 091, clear will not attend meeting. The facility owner has no underground lines in the area of the complex project and will not attend the meeting. You have 099, attended meeting, reached agreement. The facility owner attended the meeting and has determined there is a conflict and reached an agreement on the locate schedule. Again, these are final responses. These are what you need to have to be compliant with the PA one call law. There always needs to be a final response update. So we do have interim responses as well. If you're not ready to put in a final response, because you may have, as this example, we have 002 conflict lines nearby. The facility owner may have some underground lines at the site and the facility owner will make direct contact to discuss the locate schedule or discuss the job with the excavator. And making direct contact is physically contacting that person by either making a phone call or in-person meeting or FaceTime. I know we're in a virtual world right now, so FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, whatever that virtual platform that you have to physically make contact with this excavator. Also, we have 004, insufficient information, do not dig. The facility owner cannot make a determination of their involvement based on the information provided by the excavator on the locate request. Again, this facility owner should be making direct contact with the excavator to discuss the locate. And you will update with a final response of 003, field marked, or 001, clear no facilities. To keep moving along, we have 005, not marked due to no access. A facility owner cannot gain access to the location, whether it's caused by a locked gate, or you can have an unleashed dog that's blocking you from getting in there, or there may be other security measures in place. The facility owner should contact the excavator to gain access so he can locate the facilities. Again, then update with a final response. I'm saying update with a final response because I want you to remember that. If this is not anything you take away, remember that you always have to have a final response. And we have 006, scheduled date of mark. Facility owner marks the lines at the site based on the agreed time and date. Also, we have 007, voice message. The facility owner left a recording to convey information about the locate that is different than the standard KARL responses. Again, if there's an interim response that isn't on the standard list, but you feel is necessary to convey to the excavator, this temporary message will be saved for 30 days, but again, you will have to update with a final response. We also, on the design side, we have design conflicts. The facility owner has lines at the site. They need to send plans for to be marked up, as Jim mentioned earlier. Again, you want to update this with a final response of 083 that you finished the engineering is completed, or 001, clear no facilities in the area. And we also have 090, will attend meeting. Facility owner has lines in the area of the complex project, and them or the competent representative who can make decisions on behalf of yourself or the company will attend this meeting. It's actually a requirement of the law to attend this meeting. All involved parties in the complex project need to be present at this meeting. And again, update with a final response. We also have 096, agrees no meeting is required. Facility owners update with a final response then of 001 or 003. Keep moving along, we also have 092, request a meeting. A facility owner may feel this job is complex, so he wants to hold a meeting to discuss the complexity of the job. All excavators are required by law to have this meeting with the facility owner who requested. Again, this facility owner will go back in and update with a 001 or 003 final response. Also, we can have a 095, did not attend a meeting. The facility owner was unable to attend the meeting. The facility owner should attempt to set up a one-on-one meeting with this excavator to discuss the job site so you can locate on time and they can keep your job continue and flowing on schedule. Again, you will update with a final response of 001, 003, or 099. And also we have 999, did not respond through the PA one call system. This is actually a violation of the PA one call law. Excavators do not want to see this. If they see this it could be understanding that there's no markings down the ground. They may re-notify these facility owners so we can get somebody out there and they can respond appropriately. This is actually also a violation of the PA one call law. You can submit an alleged violation report on anybody who does not respond through the one call system. You can go on our website, pa1call.org/enforcement to do this. And I believe this is all I have for the call response codes, Marcus.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Great. So that's another dive into more of what we expect for the responses, what the law requires and things like that. So thank you so much, Ryan. Next, we have Greg Danks with us. He's going to review some more here. You got it ready to go, Greg?
Marcos, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. So we've gone through, and I want to show you a little bit of what happens the morning of the lawful start date. At this point, the facility owners have received the dig notification. They have read the ticket, figured out whether or not they have things in the area, have marked them out. And the morning of that dig, the excavator is going to see an email like this come from us. And it's going to have all the information that the facility owners provided back through our system. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ones on here. You see the ones that are marked in red right now. So the borough, they told you, we saw where you're digging. We have nothing in that area. The excavator knows now that when they go out there, they shouldn't expect to see anything from the borough. They shouldn't expect to see any lines down there. However, gas told you they have lines there. They field marked. When you go out there and you look down and you see yellow, because that's the color for gas, you know that's the gas marking their lines out. For electric, they also field marked, so you're looking for red from them. For water, they field marked, so you're looking for blue or possibly green, depending on whether they have potable water, sewer. They may even have purple if it's some kind of reclaimed water. So in this case, all 4 of those utilities did what they were supposed to do. One was clear, they let you know that. The other 3 field marked, and they told you what they did. We also have a couple here just for the sake of showing you today. Telephone and sewage. In this case, they didn't respond through the system. They're going to get that 999 code that Ryan just told you about. What that means is we sent them the ticket information. They did not put any response through KARL back to us. They may have sent somebody out. You may go out there. You may see orange lines from the telephone company. They never told us what they did. They may not have seen the ticket or addressed it at all, which of course is a violation of the One Call Act. However, in the real world, that does happen sometimes. So when you see something like that, make sure you as the excavator on your initial arrival are looking out, keeping a close eye on things that should have been marked that maybe weren't. We also have this other one, Fiber. They requested a meeting, and that was one of the, that was 092 request meeting. That was one of the interim responses that Ryan told us. Remember, final responses are great for telling us what you did. Interim responses are great for telling us what you are going to do. When Fiber responded with request meeting, they were required by law to make direct contact with the excavator and arrange a meeting before the lawful start date. In this particular case, they put request meeting up. Maybe they reached out, maybe they didn't. After that meeting happened, they were required to go back and update that to a final response to either let the excavator know, now that we've had that meeting, we know that we're clear, or now that we've had that meeting, we know where you are, we know what's expected of us, and we've marked out. So the excavator the morning of may see all sorts of different interim responses that should have been updated to final responses. If it's a case like that, you may want to reach out, you may want to confirm with their contact. So we have the ones that are final, they're all good. We have the 2 that didn't respond. You're looking out for things like that because they never gave us any information back. And then you can also run into facility owners who left interim responses up. Make sure as the excavator that you are communicating with every operator, and everyone who might need to know that information should know that information. Print out a couple of copies of this. Make sure that everybody on site has copies of it so they know which sorts of underground facilities they may be looking out for. They may be in danger of getting too close to. Make sure that you are taking pictures of the work site for your records. The liaison team sits in on, just as listeners, we sit in on the Public Utility Commission's monthly hearings for this. They're open to the public. If you ever want to sit in on one of those, their link is available on their website. And what you see a lot of the time is the people that brought the most information are able to back up their stories. So you want to make sure you're taking pictures of your work site for your records, just in case something comes up later. And make sure you're taking those pictures from places where you can see perspective. If it's right overhead, just looking straight down at the ground, well, there's no way of telling how far away that was from this or how far away that was from that or what direction you were looking. So make sure you are properly documenting your work site. Excavators, when you are on site, you are responsible for protecting and preserving the facility owner's markings. And that is up to the point where they're no longer required for proper or safe excavation work. If you need those lines remarked, if you're out in an area for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and those lines just fade over time, we get it, it rains, things like that happen, you can put in an update ticket. An update ticket gets a new serial number, it goes back out to the facility owners and lets them know, hey, this site that we've been out to before, we need to go out and remark our lines. We need to go out and verify that our markings are still visible. There is another way to get excavators out, to get facility owners out there to mark the site. That's a re-notify. This is generally when there is some kind of a location or a locating discrepancy that the excavator notices at their site. So when the excavator puts in that re-notify, there are two different things that may happen. If the excavator submits that re-notification on their initial arrival at the site, they notice something is unmarked or mismarked, and their crew is on site, they'll be asked those questions by the call center, and the excavator will initiate that re-notify through the one-call system. When that happens, it falls under what's called the direct contact rule. The facility owner, and it'll say that on the ticket, that direct contact rule applies and direct contact is required within 2 hours. The facility owner is required to make direct contact with the excavator within that 2-hour window. Now, direct contact is a phone call, it's a Skype, FaceTime, it's a visit to the site. Direct contact is not a text message. Direct contact is not responding through the KARL system. Direct contact is not sending an email. So direct, you need to make one-on-one, like face-to-face or voice-to-voice contact with that excavator within 2 hours. If it so happens that the facility owner does not provide that information, there's then an extra grace hour built in, and after the 3rd hour, the excavator is allowed to begin work as scheduled, provided they exercise due care and use prudent techniques in their work. In this particular case, we may understand that the facility owner has not provided all the information that they were required to provide. However, you, the excavator, have told us you know something is there. Be careful about it, regardless of who's to blame for whatever markings or mismarkings. It is still going to ruin your day if you hit that line. Please do not hit facilities that you know are down there. We also have another one. Maybe the excavator didn't agree with the facility owner's response. It's not their initial arrival. They've already been working. It's an area that was, you know, half a mile long, and it was at the end of that half mile that they noticed that that mismark was. Well, when they reach back out to one call, that requirement on the ticket that says direct contact required within 2 hours is not going to be there, but the facility owner is still required to respond to that ticket, and they're required to respond to that ticket as soon as practicable. So when you as a facility owner see a re-notify that might not have that 2-hour direct contact on there, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be responding to that ticket as quickly as you can. People are holding up, they are waiting because they are taking the extra time, the extra precaution to make sure that your lines were correctly put down. So as a facility owner, when you receive that, regardless of whether it says direct contact required within 2 hours or not, you want to be responding to that as soon as you possibly can. So Marcos, that is the end of mine. I am going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Greg. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We are at the end of our presentation. I did not see any questions come in, which I always chalk up to our liaisons giving all the good information, and nobody had any questions to build on, which is good. If you do during this last session here, please reach out. We're still watching the Q&A and monitoring that. We do have something fun planned for you here at the end. Maria White is going to run a Q&A. She hinted it during her presentation, her section of the presentation. She's going to do a Q&A with some Cool 81 prizes that are going to be sent to you. So what we'd like you to do is get ready, get the chat box open, the Q&A open. We will see who responds quickly. Maria is going to explain the rules and what you should do. So she's going to go ahead and put that up here now. And Maria, whenever you're ready, I'm going to have you take it away. Now.
Okay, are you ready, Marcos?
I'm ready. Your screen is up.
Great. Okay, so again, I'm Maria White. I am the quiz lady, and I'm going to go through this a little bit slowly at first because, well, for one thing, I know how smart you are as an audience. So instead of just giving you one question at a time, we're going to be shooting 3 questions at a time for you. So I want to show you how it works. It's for a chance to win a prize, and there's 3 questions that are going to be shown at once. And then you need to be the first to answer all 3 questions correctly in the chat to win a prize. So if that seems a little scattered, I'm going to do an example first, okay? So here's our example. There's 3 questions and you have to answer all 3. The first one is, you should call 811 before you dig. A for true or B for false. So don't put that in the chat yet. Wait until you have all 3 answers and then put all 3 answers in the chat. So the second one is, what does the color red indicate? Is it A, gas? Is it B, electric? Or is it C, water? So just write that down and wait to put it in the chat till you have all 3 answers. And then number 3, another name for the one call law is Act 287 as amended. Is that A, true, or B, false? So at this point, you can go into the chat. If this is the example, though, so you're not going to win a prize for this one. And you should have the answers A, comma, B, comma, A. So you should have had true, that you must call 811 before you dig. You should have electric for the color red. And you should have true for another name for the one call law is Act 287 as amended. So Marcos, does that make sense? Do you believe? And then I'll go on to the actual quiz questions.
I do think it makes sense. I have some answers coming in rather quickly here now. So whenever you're ready, Maria, go ahead, ask the questions. And like you said, the first person who gets the answers in first, the correct answers in first, is eligible for that prize. So.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and when I move to this first set of questions, Marcos, you let me know when you have enough answers that I can move on to the next set, okay?
I will do that, yes.
Thank you. Oh, ooh, cool. So this is what the prizes are. We have a camo ball cap, we have a knit ball cap, we have a very nice Yeti mug that says Pennsylvania 811 on the other side, and then we'll give you the size t-shirt that you would like. It's a short sleeve t-shirt with 811. And away we go. So here's the first 3 questions. Number 1, the 11-digit serial number on the ticket consists of, is it A, the year, the Julian date, and a 3-digit sequential number? Is it B, the year, the Julian date, and a 4-digit sequential number? Or is it C, the year and a 7-digit sequential number? Then question number 2, the version number increments by 1 each time there is a re-notify, a cancel, or an announcement. This is the version number at the top of the ticket. Is that true or false, that it increments 1 time each time there's a re-notify, cancel, or announcement? And then question number 3, when the caller puts in a one-call ticket, the customer service agent will ask the caller if they would like a list of the facility owners. Is that A, true, or B, false? So please put those answers into the chat box. And not the liaisons, just the attendees.
Not us. We can't win, huh?
I guess I should have said that disclaimer. Brandon, you can't win.
All right, looks like we got some answers here published. Looks like Andrew was in first just before. We have ABBA here for a name. We're gonna have to change that and find out who that is. But just before Chris as well. So it looks like Andrew was in first there, Maria. You can go ahead and go on to the second one.
Okay, so you got a BAA.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
And what was the name of the winner?
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, well, we'll get the rest of the details there. Okay.
Mhm.
The next one, let's move on to the next one. And great job, everybody. Okay, so here's your 3 questions. When is a final response due in KARL? Is it ASAP? A. Is it B, the night before the lawful start date? Or is it C, the morning of the excavation? The next one, I'm going to move along. What does the KARL response 001 mean? Is it A, clear, no facilities or facilities not involved based on the ticket information? Is it B, field marked? Or is it C, insufficient information, do not dig? And then the last one of this set, if a facility owner has not registered their facilities with PA one call, will they receive a one call notification? A, yes, or B, no? Go ahead and put your answers in the chat, please. Are we getting anything, Marcos?
We are, yes, we are. I'm going to review this real quick. We got a couple good answers right off the bat. And it looks like there's a person BAB, which is the correct answers. And it looks like the person registered themselves as ABA. It didn't go through correctly, but I'm asking what their name is. So if you answered there at 11:01 with the BAB there, please put your name in the chat there, and I will go ahead and record that. But yes, we're getting a bunch of good answers in, so thank you.
Yeah, okay, so just to be sure for anybody that didn't get it right, the final response is due the night before the lawful start date. That's 11:59:59, but it'd be better if you could get it in a little earlier than that. The KARL response 001, just as a note, that changed recently. It used to just be clear, no facilities, but we added a little bit more language to it that says, or facilities not involved based on the ticket information. So that might be new information for you. And then for the last one, you should have said no. If there is a facility owner out there that is not registered with PA one call, they're not going to receive notifications. So if you're out there digging in a certain municipality and you notice they're not on the ticket, then one of the liaisons could contact them and get them on board, because they need to be, even if they only have culverts and drain pipes. So let's move on to the last set. Okay, is there a place on the one call notification for the on-site contact? A, yes, or B, no? Next, what stakeholders are in the communications network? This is at the very beginning with Marcos. Is it line locators and facility owners, which is answer A? Is it B, project owners and designers? Or is it C, project owners, designers, facility owners, and excavators? And then the last question, what is the response time for an emergency ticket? This is very important. Is it A, 24 hours? Is it B, as soon as practicable? Or is it C, 2 hours? And we will let Marcos
go for it. We'll see what comes in first. If you won already, I'm gonna probably slide to somebody who didn't win yet. Just saying.
Yes, that's fair.
It looks like ACB were the correct answers, Maria. Is that correct?
A, C, B. Yes.
That's right. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. We got some winners here too. So I'm going to go ahead and collect that data. Let's see. Good, 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 good. All right. Thank you so much, Maria. I think that's it. Is that it, right?
That's it. If you'll be able to give me that information, or the winner could send their information to me at mawhite@pa1call.org. You may want your prize mailed to your home rather than your business, so whatever you prefer. And your shirt size, don't forget. Thank you.
Thank you. Now on, let's see, on behalf of all the liaisons and Pennsylvania One Call, Pennsylvania 811, I really do want to thank you all for joining us this morning. We really thought this was a good topic to dive into the one calls, the actual ticket. You know, do you know how to read a ticket? Some of us do, some of us don't. Do you know what we expect in a ticket? Why we ask the questions that we do? So I really hope you learned something this morning. If you have questions along the way, please reach out to your local liaison. We are happy to help with whatever questions you have. The liaison information is under our About tab on our website, pa1call.org. And again, like I said, I want to thank you all for joining us this morning. Maria will be reaching out to you if you want a prize, and please reach out to us. Like I said, if any questions you may have at any time, our team is available to you. Please look for information for next year's Safety Days. I know you're missing us at Safety Days, guys. Next year, we are planning 7 Safety Day events in the entire state of Pennsylvania. So look for us, look for the dates that are near you, start planning, start passing the word around. We want to see you there. We miss you, and we're excited to see you next year in 2022 for some big events to get out and about and get back out with our stakeholders here. So again, thank you this morning for joining us this morning. Be safe and call one call. Thanks a lot.